All right. Question number 2. How do you write college essays that are honest, specific, and genuinely compelling? This is the question that sits at the heart of everything. So just let me give you a framework you can actually use rather than general advice. Let me tell you, like most bad college essays fail for one of three reasons. They summarize instead of show. They tell the admissions officer what happened rather than putting them in the scene. They try to impress rather than connect. They're written for an imagined audience of authority figures rather than for a real human reader. Or they pick topics that are so common: the sports injury, the mission trip, the immigrant grandparent, that the story feels generic before the first sentence is finished. So the essays that work do one thing that most students avoid. And the one thing is they zoom in. Not my experience on the debate team taught me about resilience, but the specific moment mid-round when the argument fell apart and what happened next in that room with those people with that feeling. So it's a lot about like the storytelling. Like the more specific the scene, the more universal the emotion, then the better. Like this sounds counterintuitive, but it's the most reliable truth in all of essay writing or all of writing. And here's the test I use with every student I work with. Like after reading a draft, I ask, could any other student have written this exact essay? Like if the answer is yes, then we pretty much have to start over. A great personal essay is one that could only have been written by this specific student because it's built from specific memories, specific details, specific language that belongs to that person and no one else. And the other thing I tell students is stop trying to sound like an applicant. Admissions officers read 50,000 essays easily. They can feel the difference between someone writing to impress and someone just trying to tell them something true. The essays that get remembered are the ones that feel like a real person sat down and told a real story. So practically, start with a list of 10 moments, not topics, but moments from the last 4 years that felt significant to you. Not necessarily big moments. It could be small ones. Small ones are sometimes better. Then write the most specific version of one of those moments you can imagine, like you can manage. That's the gist of the essay. The students I work with who produce the strongest essays are almost never the ones who sat down and tried to write a great essay. They're the ones who first got really clear on what they are, who they are, what their narrative is, what thread runs through everything they've done, and then found the one story that best eliminates that. The essay work and the positioning work are inseparable. You can't do one well without the other. And the writing of the essay is a journey. It's not like you think of a topic, you create a draft, and then you edit it, and it's an iterative process before you can get to a final draft that is really good and memorable.